2, 1. And we are live. All right. Welcome to tonight's show. The Dallas Cowboys rewind on the last rewind. And tonight we had to, after coming back from a bye, retooling, staying in a dark cave and figuring out a strategy to how we could reshape the season. You know, compared to how it's gone before. We were 3-3 before, at 500. We say we're going to do something to bring the defense up the head. Dak and CD are going to work together. They're going to study, and they're going to be in the lab 23 out of 24 hours. They're not going to get any sleep. They're going to come back bigger, better than ever. And the results of that tonight would be, Tremaine?
We took an L.
We took an L?
And in typical Dallas Cowboy fashion, we took an L, and they get your hopes up, and and make you think you're gonna live to fight another day, which we will, but not with a W. And oh boy, and it had to be against San Francisco. I give them one thing: they, as opposed to that damn dominant win over the Detroit gave us, they at least tried to hang around. But all roads led to us losing the game. I mean, you go back and watch the game. You can break a couple things down as to where we made some errors. You can break it down where San Fran made some errors, but that third quarter, San Francisco started cooking, and although it looked promising in the fourth, it was all but too much to overcome, because even if we did score, let's say we did score let's say we did score in that stretch, San Fran had 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if we did score, all they would have needed was a field goal.
Just to tease us. It's always just to tease us.
With 2 timeouts. So yeah, it would have been nice if we scored and got the lead, but I even knew, I was telling my wife was watching it with me, and I was telling her, if we score, they have 2 timeouts and they have enough time to at least get in field goal range.
Mm-hmm. But of course, to get your hopes up, Dak went probably about around the 3-minute mark. 2 wild passes, one that he threw to really 3 49ers. I have no idea.
That was a wasted down.
Yeah. 1 catch could have been caught by, I think, Covante Turpin. The ball was, you could say, right there in the breadbasket, and he just missed the opportunity to catch it.
I'll give you Dak. That was a perfectly thrown ball. Dak put that one there.
Yeah. But I'm going to say what I thought in the beginning of the first half. What I thought was going to happen. It ended up happening, I think, anyway. I just think the spirit of Dallas was broke. And I think Dallas put forth a good, wholehearted effort on the defense. They tried to shore up, but put like 6 people on the front line to stop the run. They tried their best.
Mm-hmm.
I think, let's see, what the 49ers ended up rushing with? The 49ers, they stopped the run. They only had... Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing. That was the long. So they didn't stop the run. They had 223. I was about to say, I know I must have been looking at the wrong game. They ended up having 223 yards rushing. So they put up a good effort, but it wasn't good enough. And yeah. I think Dak's getting him. It's the story of the game, just like we're just talking about now, where it looks like the game was over, 17-point lead, fourth quarter. And get it down to 6, and always they just mess up at the very end. Dak throughout the game was getting them towards the goal line, and then he would cough it up, or he would just make a silly play, and it turnover on downs, or they had to punt it. And I think the defense spirit just got broke. It's like, what are we holding serve for? Or what are we trying to give you good field advantage if you're just going to throw it away? He is playing like he was, what was it, 3 years ago?
When he threw all those picks, yeah.
Yeah, when he about had more turnovers and interceptions. Now he does have more. I mean, I'm sorry, more interceptions than touchdowns, and he's playing that way now. He's regressing. Again, I don't know how in the world he ended up getting such a huge contract, Jerry.
I know how.
Wow.
Because he's a Dallas Cowboy. That's how. The Jerry Jones he'll find some money and he'll pay you even if you're not worth it, and that's how he got his contract. But it's I mean, that's how CD got his too. You want to do the holdout. Dak didn't do the holdout business, but CD did the help holdout. He got his money, and it's it makes headlines. Dak got a big contract, CD got a big contract, so it makes headlines. But I mean, if you're basing it off of his play, no. I mean, even before the season, Dak, 2 playoff wins. Nah, man. That I mean, is he a good quarterback? Yeah. Can we do better in the market right now as far as quarterbacks? I mean, you got to take it. We unfortunately we got to stay with Dak because he can have a moment like tonight where he give you hope, but hope doesn't equal wins, and that's what we are right now. I mean, we need wins. 3-4, last in the division. Washington is looking good. Philly is looking better.
Miracle win today. Yeah, Philly looked good today.
Yeah, and we got to stretch. We got to stretch of games that are not easy. We got Falcons coming up. And then we go through this gauntlet of NFC East games. And I don't know. I granted, at the beginning of the season, I counted this as a loss.
Mm-hmm.
I did. I counted this as a loss, but I counted it as a loss for different reasons. I counted it as a loss with Christian McCaffrey playing. I counted it as a loss with Ayuk playing. I counted it as a loss with Deebo Samuels not suffering from pneumonia. I counted it as a loss, with Greenlaw playing. I counted it as a loss. However, with all of those elements that should have worked for us, we still took an L.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not going to get any closer to beating San Fran than we did tonight with Christian McCaffrey not playing. And let's say by the grace of God, we limp and squeak our way into the playoffs. They're going to all be back by the playoffs.
Yeah. But see, some delusional people on our side are going to be like, well, Michael will be back. We'll get a lot. Bland will be back. We'll get a lot of our players back. It's not, I don't think it's the players. It's the scheme. It's the coaches. It's the quarterback. It's the GM. We are messed up from top to bottom.
Yeah.
I ain't just talking about this year. This year it's really showing our true colors. We've been mediocre, even though we've had good 12-4 seasons and 12-5 seasons, I guess, with the 17 game edition, whatever. We've had these kind of seasons with McCarthy. It's run its course. It really, I think everything has now come to fruition, basically off of the coattails of last year. Last year, we had that big home winning streak where we could not lose. Did okay on the road or whatever, but we played a lot of tomato cans. And then when we got to the playoffs, we got to play Green Bay. Green Bay, not exactly a tomato can, but they ain't Campbell's soup either. And they ran roughshod over us. They made us quit defense and offense. Nothing changed over the summer. Jerry Jones, I know you probably heard the interview where a couple of times, but I'm talking about the last one. He was talking about Derrick Henry, that people ask him, what do you think would have happened if Derrick Henry was on the team? Oh, well, he wouldn't have ran like he would with the Ravens all this year. Who cares? I don't care if he's not the top running back or top 5 or even top 10. He's better than anything we got now. Any of the running backs we got now. He's better than any of the running backs we've had, probably even since Elliott might have been in his prime. He's better than him. He's definitely better than Elliott now.
I'll say the best running back we've had past 15, 20 years, with the exception of Ezekiel Elliott's rookie season, is DeMarco Murray.
Okay.
DeMarco Murray. DeMarco Murray is more consistent. Zeke had that one breakout year. Thank you. But it's been downhill since there. Granted, yeah. Zeke did show a spark of life tonight. He had one good run. He had one like maybe 10, 15-yard run, and he had the touchdown.
Had 11 long. His 11 yards was his longest run tonight. He had 34 yards.
That may be the longest run throughout the season for any of the running backs.
It might be. He is averaging. Let's see. How was he averaging? He got his average tonight. 3.0 yards per carry. 3.4 yards tonight. Yeah. And I don't know if did you hear about his dad this week?
No.
He's okay. His dad talked to some news outlet and said, "I will pay. I think $10,000. I think he said it might have been $100,000. I think it was $10,000. $10,000 to anyone, media people or regular person. If you can show me some videotape that Ezekiel Elliott is washed." He said, "I'll await your evidence." I said, "Shoot, somebody needs to go get that money. I need that money." I can show you from the last 4 years that show you he's washed.
I mean, you can just go to the New England season, and that will win the money itself. But if you want to go to the first 4 games this season, that will win the money itself. But Zeke is done.
Delusional.
What's that?
I said he's delusional.
Yeah.
He's, like I said, averaging 3.3 yards per carry, 3.4 yards tonight. He's probably going to be encouraged tonight because he got him a touchdown. And he got to eat one time because he had one long one for 11 yards. That ain't it, man. That is not going to get you to no Pro Bowl. That's not going to get you to no extension. That's not going to even keep you in the league unless the GM is Daddy Jones. It's going to give you a contract because he has some affinity for you because you used to play in the past. Jerry Jones got to give up the GM-ship, man. That's the only way things going to change.
That Jerry Jones, you're right. And Jerry Jones has an emotional attack. Excuse me.
You can't do that, though.
I've shared this with you offline before. He has an emotional attachment to his players. Like they his damn sons. Like he they real daddy. Like, all right. And I think it's because, he honestly, this is what I think. I think he's like, he has this mentality as if like, hey, I took this up and coming broke young man, made him a millionaire, and now I just have this tie to him forever. I.e. your Dez Bryant's. Dez Bryant is still not actively involved with the team, but he's still around the organization. Dez Bryant, it's gonna be Dak, and it's gonna be Dak. It's Zeke. I would say T.O. back in the day kind of fell under there. Deion Sanders still. He has this tie with he has this bond with these players even after they're long gone. And when they're actively playing for him, he's like, I'm not going with anybody else because I'm emotionally and financially attached to these players. Therefore, regardless if we win or lose, this is who I'm riding it out with.
It's very strange, though, for someone is such an astute businessman as him. It's almost like, and I was thinking about, like, he has Stephen Jones and he has Jerry Jones Jr. It's almost like he never had a son. And now he's trying to put these football players in the positions like, man, if I had a son, they would have been playing football and I would have been cheering them on. I would have been paying them. I would have been doing like LeBron is doing Bronny Jr. right now. And That's kind of what it is. It's nepotism without the relation with, with
It,
Jerry
it very
Jones.
it very much gives that strange relationship because
Yeah.
so Jerry Jones played football.
Yeah.
Um, he played football. He likes his audience. He likes his fans to know that he knows football, not just the business of it, but the actual X's and O's. He likes to think I know football. I know who will benefit best at this position. I know how to call plays. This is why he's not giving up the GM position. Because he likes to be in on the ins and outs of the day to day on field play calling to a degree. Mike McCarthy, Jason Garrett, these cats never coached that team. They were coached on paper, but we all know who's calling the shots, and it's Jerry Jones. And don't get me wrong, to a degree, when it comes to business, he should be calling the shots because it is his organization. But when it comes to the actual play of football, that's when you need a GM who can stand up to him. Or like that's where Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, Bill Parcells. That's why they're going because they weren't going to take Jerry Jones and shit. And to your point that you stated earlier, there are some seasons when it's overlooked because we're winning. You got the 12-5 season, so the toxicness in the organization is swept under the rug for that season because we're winning. But in this season, and we're not winning now, it's on full display.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, you can have a care for your players, but you still have to remember it's a business. Robert Kraft is a perfect example of that. Robert Kraft, he stuck his neck out for Tom Brady for as long as he could against Belichick's wishes. But at some point, when it seemed like Brady was not going to be the future, he was on the wrong side of 30 or 40. He said, okay, I got to ship you out of here, but you're always going to be a part of the organization once you get out of here. Belichick, same thing. Belichick has 6 Super Bowls. He's won more Super Bowls than most franchises. I think that is true. He has more Super Bowls than any franchise put together. And once he had 3 bad seasons, he said, I got to replace you. Right. You're always going to have a heart here. Hell, they were on that roast together on Netflix, roasting Tom Brady. Like they never hated each other. You couldn't tell that they didn't have affection for one another, Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, and making news about Robert Kraft and all these other people that were on the former Patriots team, Super Bowls teams or whatnot. But it was still about business in the end. It's the same thing if you have a business. If you have a business and you incorporate your daughter and your wife, and I know you love them. I know you love them. But if they start messing up the money that's coming in the house, at some point the lights are going to get cut off at the house because they keep acting up at work. They're stealing stuff. They're being rude to the customers. You're going to have hey, you still got a home here. You just can't work with me.
Right. That's exactly. You're absolutely. That's a very good comparison. That is what the attitude that needs to be taken in the Dallas Cowboys organization. I mean, because like I said, going forward, man, this season, I don't like to typically say the season is a wash or we're done after one game. Again, because I predicted this game to be a loss, but I predicted it to be a loss for different reasons. I don't want to say the season's over, but it's not looking good because this is where the Dallas Cowboys benefited from too. Also, in the past couple of seasons.
What's that?
The NFC was weak. It was weak, and Dallas was the strongest in the NFC. The NFC now is strong. You got Washington with their quarterback is looking good. You got Philly, who's up and down. I do still think Dallas beats Philly at least one of the games. I would say that just because of the rivalry. You got You got the Giants are going to be the Giants. They're kind of laying in the weeds. But outside the NFC East,
Yeah.
I mean, you got Minnesota. You got the Falcons, who we got coming up. You got
We already played Detroit, so we
already got past them. Well,
Thank
didn't get
God.
past them, but game's over. So unless we tiptoe into the playoffs, we'll worry about them then. I mean, but you also got Green Bay, and we saw what happened with them. Our playoff game. I would say the Jets, but hell, they looking worse than us.
Yeah.
But over the years, the Cowboys benefited off of a weak NFC, and now the NFC isn't so weak, and it's that too is exposing us.
What would you say was tonight's player of the game for the 49ers?
I'll say George Kittle.
Yeah.
George Kittle had a good game.
Definitely.
George Kittle had a very good game. He didn't pull that fuck Dallas t-shirt shit anymore because he got charged $10,000 last time. But I'll say George Kittle had a good game. I will say this though. There was a touchdown that Brock Purdy got that is questionable because his elbow was down.
It was questionable.
Huh?
It was questionable, yeah.
It was questionable because his elbow was down. That ball did not break the plank. However, I'm not harping on it because I know the next down they would have scored.
Yeah. It would have been hard to overturn, but it was questionable.
If you look at the replay, his elbow was down and he did not break the plank. And he did not cross the plank. And I mean, it makes no difference in the game because even if they did call it, either they would have scored on the next down, or they probably just would have kicked the field goal, and the game is still out of reach.
Yeah. George Kittle, 6 receptions for 128 yards and 1 touchdown. Had a big game for 43 yards at one point. That hurt us. If I had to pick another person, I would pick him only because of his circumstances from last week, having pneumonia and then struggling to breathe throughout the game, having to get oxygen and come back on the field. Deebo Samuel, 4 receptions, 71 yards. He had a longer one for 47 yards.
He had a good game. He had a good game. Overall, I'm not Philly. San Fran had a good game. I believe they took their foot off the gas a little bit, which gave Dallas hope. They took their foot off the gas.
Do that on purpose.
What's that?
I know the strategy for that, but it's almost like they do it on purpose mainly for Dallas because they just want to see us struggle to try to make it a close game and then snatch it away from us at the end.
You may be right because the same thing happened with the Pittsburgh game. We just happened to win it.
Yeah, they messed up on them. That's why they wanted to do it. Like, you ain't gonna come back, and we just got. I don't want to say lucky, but that was one of the games we won despite Dak. I was hoping this was going to be another one. I said defense was coming together. It seems like in the beginning, I said, okay, we holding steady. We had a lead. What was it?
We had a lead going into the half. We had that lead at the half. 10-6.
And I'm going to tell you, I think it's because the defense spirit got broke. It's like, it's not so many times we're going to be able to save you, man. And then you get to where you can score, give us another cushion, and you throw an insane touchdown or pass that's not catchable. You know? He only had going into the fourth quarter, and he got them garbage yards. He had about 100, I think 20-something yards going into the fourth quarter. Dak throwing.
Yeah, it was the garbage yards that made him look better than what he was. Now, if he miraculously won the game, no one's talking about the garbage yards. But again, like I said earlier, if we scored, even if we scored on that drive, we still don't win that game.
Yeah, he had 120 yards going into the fourth quarter. 2 interceptions at that point. CeeDee Lamb only had he only had 54 yards at that point. And then all of a sudden, the races was on, and then they started to score and started getting all these yards, but it's because they were playing prevent defense at that point. So now, they had more opportunities to score. They had more wide open throws for CeeDee Lamb and whoever else.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, CD, and then what kind of just rubs me the wrong way, man. It's like you're down. A little bit of hope has ignited the team because with the time and you scored and you're one touchdown down, and I see you laughing and joking on the sideline. I get it. You're excited because you're closer, but let's save that until you actually win. If you win, Dak and CD did their little handshake after his second score, but you're still down.
I don't even like seeing that mess. Why y'all say you still down? What's he celebrating for?
Well, you're still down. I mean, I don't know. I'm just, as a fan, I don't like seeing it, but yeah. Again, when they got that second touchdown, and we got the 3 and out, I think. Yeah, we got the 3 and out, and we got the ball back. I said, even if we score, it's not going to be good because we're going to leave too much time, and all they're going to need is a damn field goal with 2 timeouts.
Yeah. Spend all those timeouts, McCarthy. We had nothing to work with towards the end. And I hate to do it, or maybe I don't hate to do it, but we're going to name tonight, since we lost, I can't name the GOAT of the game. Got to name the scapegoat, and here he is. Don't think anybody's surprised. Dak Prescott is Dallas Cowboys scapegoat of the game. 25 of 38 on attempts, 243 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Oh no, that was another one. I don't know why I got Jalen Tolbert.
And this is coming from 2 Dallas fans, people. Like Ray and I are both Dallas fans. I'm a Dallas fan. I could give a damn who's at quarterback, whether it's Dak, whether it's Quincy Carter, Troy Aikman. I don't give a damn. I want the team to win. Yeah, I'm wearing a Dak jersey now because he has given me hope over the years, and 2 playoff wins, one against Seattle, the other against Tampa Bay.
Maybe you should wear an Obama shirt instead.
Huh?
Maybe you should wear an Obama shirt instead. Hope.
An Obama shirt?
Yeah, that was the campaign run. Hope. Have hope. And he won twice. So, he's won more than Dak seemingly has won this year, it seems like. Dak has one more win than him this year. But it took him 8 years to try to get those.
Dak is he's not a bad quarterback. I'm not going to say he's a bad quarterback. I'm definitely not going to say he's great or elite.
Where you rank him at? Number wise. Present day. Top 10, top 15, top 20. Right now, not overall career, just right now.
Yeah, right now, in the season that he's having right now.
Yeah.
Top 20. I can't even go 15. It's the turnovers, man. Sure. It's the turnovers. It's the turnovers. It's the turnovers that's holding me back, because if that doesn't throw one of those picks, we probably win the game. Mm-hmm. He threw 2 of them, and he had a shot to win it. So if he doesn't throw one of them, we may win the game. When you throw a pick or you give the ball away, you are giving the other team the ball when they don't plan on having it. and that's a momentum swing. And to your point, I think the defense is shot. I mean, yeah, Micah Parsons, D-Law, Deron Bland are gone, but
we all heard though.
But were they elite with them?
Right. I mean, we had them at one point before that, and what did we do? Like, I I'm sorry. If Michael Parsons comes back, I don't have hope that we're going to get better. I wouldn't even be surprised if we got worse.
You know what?
I think they're playing together. They just are weak. The talents are weak at this point. But I think they're playing as about as together as they can.
I think they're playing together. You're right.
Yeah.
I think they're playing together as best they can. It's just that they're getting over dominated, and the only kind of ploy we can have with Michael Parsons is the fact that everyone's going to be focused on him, and you can get someone else off the edge. But Michael Parsons played the first 3 games, and he was damn quiet the whole time. He didn't really do nothing spectacular his first 3 games.
No. I can't remember him having a game where he had multiple sacks this year.
Yeah. D-Law, same thing. It wasn't all that spectacular, and DeRon Bland ain't played this season yet. So, I mean, and Trayvon Diggs is out there, quiet as hell. You know, Trayvon, let's not overlook part of that elite defense that we have is Trayvon Diggs, who is out there. He ain't doing much.
No, not at all.
So
he may be still recovering from his injuries from last year.
I honestly think he's I think he's in his head. I don't think he's the same player he was before the injury. I don't think he's gonna get back to the player he once was.
Think it's over for him?
Huh?
Think it's over for him? He ain't never gonna be that Pro Bowl player that he's supposed to be?
That's a good question. And not in Dallas. The answer to that is not in Dallas.
Oh, wow. That's saying
not
something.
In Dallas.
Because he ain't got paid yet, has he?
Nah, he hasn't. No, he did.
Okay.
But Micah hasn't gotten paid yet. Another thing is, I think Dak is fully recovered from that ankle injury years ago. I think it was 2020.
Did you hear Chris Collins kind of mention that towards the end of the game? Like, your Dak used to be a runner, and some of these plays where he could just escape the defenders, now he'll stay and try to just throw the pass when even there's nothing there.
That's the point I was about to make. Let's take this stroll down memory lane. Let's think about Dak before that ankle injury.
Mm-hmm.
2016, Dak for his rookie season. He would create opportunity with his feet, whether it's a run or a pass. Dak is a pocket quarterback now. He's barely moving out of the pocket. Going back to that injury, I think he's fully recovered physically.
He should be.
Yes.
2 years ago.
Yeah. He's fully recovered physically.
Mm-hmm.
Mentally, he's not. I don't think he's there mentally. I think he's worried about getting injured again. And to that point, he would throw the ball into some tight coverage as opposed to finding a way with his feet. Look at Brock Purdy tonight. Brock Purdy, whenever he was in a situation where the perfect example was that one play. He could have threw to the running back and it would have been a pick six. It would have been a clean pick six. But instead, he recognized that and used his feet. Dak Prescott makes that throw. Dak Prescott will make that throw, and that's a clean pick six. That's the difference between a quarterback like Brock Purdy, who is using his feet, and a quarterback like Prescott, who is relying more now on his arm because of that injury. And I do believe that is hindering his play since the injury.
Yeah, I'm looking at this statistic. I'm trying to make sure I'm reading this correctly. This is about what we're talking about. That's Dak Prescott and his yards. Staggering statistic. Dak Prescott, I can't speak tonight. Dak Prescott has less rushing yards than backup quarterbacks through week 7.
Yeah, I'm not shocked to hear that. He's not running, and he used to run a lot. The most I've seen him run since that injury was that Tampa Bay game, that win over Tampa Bay in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I'll never forget that. I even said, I was like, Dak is running a lot in this game, because I remember a fake to running back, and he faked everyone out, and he had the ball, and he went into the end zone. And that was against Tampa Bay.
I'm guessing
that's the most running I've seen Dak Prescott since that injury. He doesn't use his feet anymore.
I'm guessing they're talking about backup quarterbacks in the league, not Dallas as a team. I was like, dang, they ain't but 2 rushing yards. So prior to week 7, let's see, he has 25 rushing yards through week 7. Prescott ranks 37th among NFL quarterbacks.
And I'm not saying he has to be a rookie Lamar Jackson where every play he's running.
There ain't nobody that can be.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. However, what I saw from Brock Purdy tonight was an equal balance of running and throwing the ball. That was just it was balanced out. He gave you some throws, Kittle and Samuel, but when he had to use his feet to get out of situations, he did. Yeah. Dak is not using his feet.
You think he's afraid because of how horrible our offensive line is? He's afraid to even try to take a chance? I mean, it would be great because it would keep the defense honest. So they always have to worry about if he's going to run or if his running back's going to run, or they can't just all key in on the wide receivers. They have to watch if Dak's going to make a run and get the first down. It would keep the defense honest. But
yeah, we can't even create play action, and that's the reason. I think also with the with Tyron Smith not being on the team, I think that was Dak's security blanket as well as far as blocking, and he's missing that security blanket.
Well, I think he has 24 yards now because he ran once and had -1. So he's got 24 yards now.
Yeah, it's bad in Dallas right now. Oh God. Again, I predicted this to be a loss, so I'm shocked because we actually had the opportunity, and I'm not even talking about before, the somewhat comeback. Once I saw how many 49ers players were injured or Deebo Samuel was sick, I thought there was hope and I thought there was a shot. But I still predicted it to be a loss earlier this season. I did predict I predicted Detroit to be a loss too.
Yeah.
I thought we would beat the Saints. That didn't happen. So, with the exception of the Saints, that's the only time I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, ultimately, what I think it is the culture. I want to blame Mike McCarthy. He got to get someone to blame, but it's the culture, how the players are enabled, and if something don't go right, they go straight to Jerry. Mike don't have no power. Mike don't have the power to get these players to be afraid. They don't run their route like they're supposed to. Aikman will tell the wide receivers they need to run their route like CeeDee Lamb and all these other people. And Dak needs to throw when they need to be thrown to, not just throwing these wild passes like he's throwing. He can set them on point. Mike doesn't have any power. Mike is like a substitute teacher that comes to these brand new kids that are like 5th graders, and they know it's a substitute teacher, and they know they ain't got to listen because you're going to be out of here in the next year or so if you mess up. Or I'll just tell my dad or my mom, and they'll come out here and set you straight. There's no continuation and no power given, no authorization given to Mike McCarthy. And it's always going to be like that. It don't matter if Mike McCarthy is gone. We'll just get somebody else. People keep saying, well, man, we'll get Belichick. Belichick ain't going to go. Belichick he's not for the glitz and glamour. He's for trying to win games. He wants a certain level of power, and he's not going to get that in Dallas. Jerry ain't going to relent that. So you all can just give up on Bill Belichick coming to that team. That's never going to happen. Bill Parcells is the closest thing you're going to have to a Belichick, maybe even Jimmy Johnson, maybe him too. It's the closest thing you're going to have to a Belichick that had power on the team. And Parcells found out he didn't have all that kind of power he thought he was going to have. And that's why he exited out early. It's going to continue being that way.
Yeah.
Jones is 82. He's not going to change. No one changes at 82. Most people, most people are not going to change their health, their diet, their way of thinking at 82. If Grandpa was racist at 22, he's still racist at 81. He's going to be racist at 82. He ain't changing how he is at that later age. He don't even know if he's going to be alive tomorrow. So why would he change? And he's a billionaire. So there's that part too.
It's absolutely correct. I mean, it's Jerry Jones is going to be Jerry Jones, no matter who the coach is. It does not matter who the coach is. And some coaches, they want to have power over the team, so they know I'm not going to no fucking Dallas with Jerry Jones there. I'm not going to be able to run the team how I want to run it. I always want it, and I know it is never going to happen because he's a coach who needs to run the team how he wants it, but I always wanted Bill Cowher.
Yeah.
I wanted Bill Cowher
I forgot about that.
I wanted Bill Cowher to be Dallas's coach for years. And I remember one season there was talk about it because he was talking about coming back, and there was talk about getting Bill Cowher. And I was excited. I remember when he was still his coach. That was my dad's team, and I loved Bill Cowher. And I was like, if we get Bill Cowher, the better things will happen. But Bill Cowher is a man and a coach who's not going to go for Jerry Jones's bullshit.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and that's just how it is. Like we were not. Dallas to have some winning games, have a winning season. Squeak in the playoffs, may even luck up and win a playoff game. But the ultimate measure of success in the NFL is to go and win a championship at the Super Bowl. And
should be.
And as long as Jerry Jones is GM, that ain't happening. That ain't happening. And we as Cowboy fans, it's hurtful because myself included, man, I'm wearing this jersey right now. I have spent hundreds, if not thousands, on merchandise and things.
You got the room. Yeah.
Exactly. And things for this organization. And, at the end of the day, we want to just be able to say, I think Cowboys fans are getting desperate. And they just want to say, we went to the NFC Championship game. I think they're like, fuck the Super Bowl.
It's getting that way, right? The goal is seriously loaded now.
They just want to say we went to the NFC Championship game, or they want to be able to say we beat a team in the divisional round or something along those lines. Mm-hmm. Not even we won the NFC Championship game. We went. That's how bad it's getting in Dallas right now. And Mike Parsons can come back, D-Law can come back and try to be the savior of this season, which it's not going to happen again. I'm usually confident that we're going to the playoffs or we're going to squeak in the playoffs. I don't know after tonight. And again, tonight I predicted a loss, but a loss for different reasons.
I don't see it. Even with the extra team that can get into the playoffs now, I don't see it because we just have one of the worst schedules ever. We are deteriorated in about every position. Even though our QB position is not hurt, we're hurt there. Even though our coach is there, we're hurt there. Our GM should be on the injured list as well. I think that's the biggest hurt. Our defense, like I said, they are hurt too. It's a new defense on top of that, so we're learning how to do the new defense without our seemingly best players. So there's a learning curve with that as well. this dude, I mean, you can't help injury, so I'm not blaming Micah Parsons on that. So he's going to have a bye year, I guess, with that. But this is a contract year.
Mm-hmm.
And based off of the expectations of how he was supposed to be in previous years, which he had good seasons, but I don't think he lived up to expectations. Now he's injured. He seems to make everything about himself and the team. He's still going. I don't know why I'm even talking this way. He's still going to get paid. We already know he's going to get paid.
So the stars aren't going anywhere. Dak is locked in. CD is locked in. Sadly. Micah is going to be locked in. D-Law, maybe. He may be gone. But those three are locked in. They will be Dallas Cowboys for years to come.
Yeah.
So we at least know we got Dak and CD and Micah for at least next 3 years. It's I do believe it's about the draft. I do believe Jerry Jones and this organization got to do something at free agency, man. They got to make a move. I mean, we could have got Devontae Adams. We could have had a reunion. If you want to have a reunion, Amari Cooper was right there. Instead of this bullshit Elliott reunion. And that would have been helpful because that would have gave you another wide receiver other than CeeDee Lamb. Since we are just so hell-bent on the passing game because Dak Prescott does not want to create opportunity to run, and our running game is subpar. So if you're going to rely on your passing game, you need to get weapons out there. And that is CeeDee Lamb. He's a weapon. But if that's your only weapon and they know that's your only weapon, well, we're going to take that only weapon away. So you need another weapon.
Yeah, we can get more weapons, but it's just the fundamentals we don't even seem to be practicing. To hear Dak and CD talking about we're working on perfecting our routes. And after the bye week, Negroes, you've been teammates for how long now? You've had summers. You've had offensive line summer camps to go to
well, they didn't have this summer because CD held out.
But even so, did the offense change? Did it change that drastically where you had to work on routes in the middle of the season?
It's
you should have some sort of ESP between each other by now. It's not like they're rookies.
That's what I was about to get at. They don't have chemistry. You can see when you watch a football game or a basketball game, you can see when the players are have chemistry and they like to play with each other. And it's not just an obligation because it's our job. In the beginning, I saw that they had actually liked to play with each other, and it was fun for them. When I look at Dak and CD play tonight and games prior to tonight, it's almost like we on the team, we play football for a living, we want to win, so let's go out here and try to win. It's not as if they're going out there having fun playing the game. But if you look at I'll say even Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams, although they are stinking up the place, you can see that they have a chemistry and they like playing the game with each other.
Yeah.
Dak and CD had that at one point. I really do think the Green Bay game killed that. I think the Green Bay game, when Dak was off and they just couldn't connect with one another, I think that killed the chemistry. And if you like, I'll go and cut on some interviews right now because I'm sure they're interviewing each other. They're gonna give the same bullshit ass response. Oh yeah, everything's good between us, and we just need to get on page. And Dak, I gotta be more efficient. Yeah, I get it. You got a good PR guy. You know what to say. You know what to say in the moment. Cool, get it. But it needs to come out on the field now, dude.
Just give all the credit to the 49ers. You know, they played their hearts out. You know, we just didn't have enough gas tonight. And, but we're going to go to the drawing board. We're going to watch some film. We're going to be in the dark room for hours. And we're going to write this boat.
They got the script down. They know how to answer the questions without getting fined and without getting in trouble. They got it down. I give them that. You know, they went to a good PR class, but that's just it. I want some truthfulness in those answers for once. Right. I want some truthfulness to the point where somebody gonna get pissed and call and hold someone accountable, and maybe it will play out on the field. You know, the only person being truthful is Jerry Jones. Oh, he can be as truthful as he wants to fucking be when he threatens to take someone's livelihood and job because they ask him some hard questions. Oh, he can be truthful, but they can't.
Radio people don't get mad at the radio people. Get mad at your players. Say something about your coach. Talking about he was up there talking about I'm not going to fire a coach in the middle of the season because I remember I took the advice to get rid of Wade Phillips, and then he went to the Bills, and then they went to the AFC Championship, I think he was saying. I was like, but he still didn't win. I mean, yeah, of course he was better, but that doesn't mean he was good enough to win a Super Bowl with. And it doesn't mean Mike McCarthy. It definitely doesn't mean Mike McCarthy's good enough. You waited. Jason Garrett ended up taking Wade Phillips' job, and you stayed around for years, and you got no result from that. So what do you mean?
That's the Romo era, and I forgot about Wade Phillips. If we were going through all those coaches who just did not going to take Jerry Jones's bullshit, and Jason Garrett will still be there if Jerry Jones didn't fire him, because Jason Garrett was the poster boy. Oh yes sir, no sir. He was just
because family. But he's talking about Wade Phillips as a defensive coach, not a head coach. He didn't do all this as a head coach. He was doing this as a defensive coach. So that, I mean, just because you're good at one doesn't mean you're good at the other. So he made no sense saying that.
Right. It's dark right now in the organization. If I had to say if we're going to the playoffs right now, I'll say no. You know, that schedule is looking tough. And right now we're below 500. And this was a game that was winnable because of their injuries. If the 49ers was perfectly healthy this game, I'm not even shocked. I'm not even as heartbroken. But we had a shot because they were not healthy. You know? We could have gone 4-4. You know, you want to stay in the thick of things with Washington and Philly. I think this game really just hurt us. Unless I do believe we beat Washington and Philly at least one time. I do believe that it's not going to make a difference because they're going to be so far ahead at that point. But it'll be more a morale boost, if anything, because they're divisional rivals. Where is this Atlanta game at? In Dallas?
In Atlanta.
It's in Atlanta? Oh yeah, because my I think my sister was talking about going.
Yeah, she's probably gonna have a good time if she's going to that.
The Atlanta probably is gonna beat us, man. Atlanta probably is gonna beat us. And again, I don't want this big hype over Michael Parsons returning. He ain't goddamn who was it in Willis Reed when he came out? He ain't Paul Pierce. No.
Look who's coming down the hallway. It's Willis Reed.
He ain't Willis Reed. He ain't Paul Pierce. It ain't no big deal. It's not as if his return is going to make a huge difference.
Willis Reed came back to that championship game with a bum knee and was only getting paid $5 and a can of Coke to play that game back then. Michael Parsons is making millions and ain't inspired for nothing. And he can't inspire his team for anything either. If anything, if they saw Michael Parsons come down the walkway, his teammates would probably go, oh, here he go again. We were doing better without you.
Honestly, even though they lost, and then there was that Pittsburgh game, the defense is looking better without him. They're like we said before, they're getting dominated, but they're working together.
Yeah,
better without him.
When the offense falters, right. The defense is supposed to hold serve so the offense can score. Well, in the offense throws an interception, a pick six, or whatever, or goes a 4 and out or 3 and out, whatever, they're like, well, what are we playing hard for? You're just going to give it up anyway.
Right.
When you're throwing more picks than touchdowns, which he is, 2022 was the bad season by Dak. His stats are just about the same. I think he had a 66 completion rate in 2022. He has a 64%, I think, this year completion rate. QBR, horrible. I think it's at 40 something, 48 or something like that. His QBR this game was.
Here's the confusion. Here's where you go back and forth with that, because off the field, seemingly great guy, just got engaged.
I don't care.
I know. That's most people don't care.
Was not a great guy off the field. I don't care. OJ was probably not a good guy off the field. On the field is all I care about.
But this guy right here, man, it's let me ask you something.
What's up?
Would you take Romo right before his injury or Dak now?
Romo. Romo. I would take Romo. I know Romo was a poor man's Brett Favre to me.
That's a very good comparison.
He couldn't get you to the big dance, but Romo never had the weapons. I know Dak doesn't have them this year. Romo never had quite the weapons, besides T.O. and a couple other ones, that Dak has had over the years.
Romo's strongest weapon was probably Des Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know about the Green Bay game, the catch, non-catch. That was probably Romo's year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to call it, that was a catch. I think what people get out of context is Aaron Rodgers had about 3 more minutes left in that game. if that was a catch.
Yeah.
But that was my answer is the same. I'll take Romo too.
Yeah. Romo didn't have the coaches that Dak has had. Jason Garrett for most, and Wade Phillips.
And he had Bill Parcells, his rookie year.
Yeah, Bill Parcells, yeah. Not for long, but yeah.
He had Bill Parcells his rookie year. That's who kind of, brought Romo up off the practice squad. Because remember, Romo was holding the ball for field goals and shit.
Yeah.
And when he fumbled that ball against Seattle.
Yeah. As bad as that was. And I'm not saying Romo is the greatest quarterback in Dallas history, or he should be in the Hall of Fame or something. I'm just saying strictly versus Dak. Who you saying who's better? So far the career, I'm picking Romo. He was more dynamic than Dak was.
Yeah.
He was a gunslinger.
If you ask some, the drawback on that would be Dak won 2 playoff games. Okay. So did Romo. Romo beat the Lions in a playoff game. I can't remember who else, but
they have about the same record. They have about the same playoff record.
Yeah, and Romo was the better. Romo was the better quarterback. Romo was more mobile too. Yeah.
Especially just like Favre, you had to live and die with how Favre threw. Romo was going to gunsling it. He was going to throw the long pass that was going to get you a touchdown, or he's going to throw a long pass that was going to give you a pick six. Dak ain't even getting it to nobody. It's bad either way.
Dak won't even throw the long pass. He'll just throw the under and out route, and that's a pick six.
Yeah.
So,
well, we'll segue into is probably going to be a tradition until the end of the season. Going off of Dak Prescott's reaction after a game earlier this season. Please get off the bandwagon we're asking you guys who are fans of Dallas, are you still on the bandwagon?
Boy. So you are Cowboys fan and you're watching this, and let us know. Put it in the comments. Are you riding it out? Are you gonna ride it out, or because there's some people who just like the hell with this and they switching teams. I've seen some cats online, they burn.
Oh, your mic got cut off there. Oh, can't hear you there. Your mic got cut off. I hear you were saying something about some cats. I guess was burning jerseys. I'm not gonna go that far. Yeah, I still can't. You got it on mute, dog. You got it on the mute button. Hit the mute button. There you go. You good. But you just put it back on mute again. There you go. It keeps going back on mute for you. Your button may be stuck or something like that, but yeah, you're off of it now.
All right.
Well, you go ahead. You were saying some fans jumping up.
There's cats who are burning jerseys and saying they're done with the team. Here's the thing with the Dallas Cowboys: you're gonna talk that shit, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the organization and the Cowboys. No, I'm not done, but I'm also real enough to see this is going to be a tough couple weeks coming up.
Right.
So,
I mean, you can't jump off.
Like that said, jump off. I guess if he's the reason for you jumping off, I totally understand.
I mean, I ain't gonna jump off of the team just because of what he did, but I'll jump off of them going to the Super Bowl, or at this point, it seems like jumping off the bandwagon, them going to the playoffs. But I ain't gonna jump off the team. I mean, we've had bad years.
I said, I'm too invested. I'll be a fan.
Yeah, you really are. You got a lot of equity.
Gotta change something.
You got some equity in this team,
bro.
I said you got some equity in this team.
Equity, man. You ain't
in your house. Yeah.
Damn star on my wall. My son got every damn jersey. My daughter got her jerseys. My wife done. Yeah, that's why I'm like, can I get something to show for this shit, Jerry?
Does your wife wear Dallas jersey? He disappeared. I was gonna ask him, does his wife wear Dallas jersey, because I know she's probably a Saints fan. Okay, he disappeared for a minute. I'm not gonna jump off the bandwagon, but I'm not gonna be delusional. I know we have a lot of delusional fans to say, hey, it's not Dak, it's not Jerry, it's not Mike McCarthy. They're cheating us. We got a lot of fans like that. I hate those kind of fans that just can't see the forest for the trees, knowing that we suck for a myriad of reasons, but not being able to take the blame for why we suck. It's all right to say we're bad. It's okay to say we're bad, but to sit there and say it's other reasons we're not bad, it's because of the refs are cheating and such, I can't do that. And so it looks like, my partner, I think he's having trouble with his probably internet. We're probably going to end the show right there, and we'll see you hopefully on the next week. We got the Falcons game. I got to see what time that game comes on. And we're going to try to have a nightcap after that game. That game probably is going to be on the afternoon. I'm pretty sure that's not going to be a night game, a Peacock NBC game. So we'll see you on the next episode of The Last Rewind. This was The Last Rewind for Dallas. We'll see you on the next episode. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe so you can see more episodes like this and episodes we do of other subject matters dealing with sports and entertainment. And y'all have a good night. Peace.